Hey guys, Jason here with another retro review. Welcome back to Retro Reviews, where I talk about movies and TV shows of the past. Today we're going to set the way back all the way to 2013, where I'm going to be talking about a movie, a personal favorite of mine, one of my favorite movies of all time, The World's End. It's the third in the Three Flavors of Cornetto trilogy by Edgar Wright, starring Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. Now, I am not going to talk much about Shaun of the Dead or Hot Fuzz in this video, because I may do individual reviews of those in the future. But I will say that The World's End is my absolute favorite of those three. I love them all equally, except I love the World's End more. If you haven't seen The World's End, I highly recommend it. Give it a watch. But if you haven't seen it, I am going to be talking some spoilers, so if you don't want anything ruined for you, head over to wherever you can find it streaming, or check it out on Blu-ray, DVD, digital. But I am going to be talking spoilers. So if you've seen the movie, spoilers don't matter. Just wanted to throw that warning out there. So I'm just going to continue on with the review. One of the big things that I really liked about this movie is there's just so much packed into this movie that you could watch it maybe a dozen times and you'd find something new every time. For example, in the opening scene, as Simon Pegg's character Gary King is recounting his night way back in the 90s, that the events of that night kind of sort of play out the same way again. It's very similar to Ed's in Shaun of the Dead, Ed's description of his plan for what they're going to do the next day is actually how the events of the movie play out. I thought that's just an insane, crazy, it's just such a cool detail. Another thing that I really liked about it was that the fact that each one, the names of each one of the bars in the bar crawl is a descriptor for what's going to happen in that particular bar. And there's just so many other things in this movie. And of course, the performances, as always, you've got such talent, such talented people working in this movie. I already mentioned Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. You've got Martin Freeman, Bill Nighy. I mean, you've got there's just Pierce Brosnan, and you've just got so many good, talented people working on this movie, and it feels like it was put together with a lot of care and a lot of love. And I really enjoy movies like that. When you actually feel like it's you can tell when it's not just another, movie that was mandated by the studio, that was cranked out to make a lot of money. When the people involved actually, and movies are hard to make, and they put a lot of work into these pictures, I understand. But there's a difference. You can tell there's a difference between when somebody enjoys making a movie and when someone feels like they have to make a movie. And this is one that's just a pure enjoyment all the way through. I could watch this movie 100. If this was one of the last movies on Earth and I would have to watch it every day for the rest of my life, I would be satisfied. It's to me, it's like the gold standard of filmmaking. Edgar Wright is just one of the best filmmakers in Hollywood, and this This movie, among others, is proof as to why. You know, if you needed an example, you just pick any one of Edgar Wright's movies and, you know, you would get a winner. I mean, he's such a brilliant filmmaker, and this movie really shows it. And I absolutely adore The World's End. And I could watch it over and over and over and over and over again, until the end of time. But that's really all I have to say about The World's End right now. I mean, I could get into specifics, but this conversation would go on for hours. This is one of those movies that I could just get lost talking about. So I will spare you that. I will spare you that rambling on. If you've seen The World's End, let me know what you thought down in the comments below. What things do you like about it? What things that I didn't mention that really catch your eye every time you watch it? That's really a lot of fun when you see it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, click that notification bell to get updates on all my future videos. Follow me on Twitter at callmejsumner. That's J with a J-A-Y. And you can chat with me there about movies and TV, and I'd be happy to talk to you. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I really do appreciate it, and I will see you on the next Retro Review. Bye.